Hello there, welcome back. It's me, Dr. Benji FM, the one with all the glamour. Not a lot of glamour, is there, in these? It's just facts. Talking of facts, today is going to be an educational episode. It's time to take a look back and go down memory lane as we see what's happened with Salford so far, as well as some news that's sort of come about recently. We'll start with that. Oh, but first on the intro. Hello then, right, let's get into it. If you missed the very end of last episode, firstly, if you've not seen the previous few episodes, watch those first. This will be a spoiler. Let's go through a few bits and pieces then, one by one. So, Salford proposed new contract talks, very kind of them. I've spoken to Google Translate, I've accepted those contract talks, and my contract has now been extended. Lovely old job. We've indeed now turned professional with the club playing in the Vanarama National League. The Salford board has decided to take the step up and turn the club fully professional. I think that what they mean is, we've got promoted, so we're now going to be professional, which is great news. We've avoided a tax hit because to be eligible for tax, you have to make money. We don't really make money. And we've announced 3 new sponsorship deals. We now have £50,000 per year, which is double what we were previously earning, so, I mean, better than nothing. Salford chairman Google Translate has indicated she is scaling down her financial backing of the club. Translate, though, has assured supporters that she will continue to invest, though not at previous levels. I don't really know what that means, as she's not really invested before. We're going to delay our stadium expansion. The board have decided that it's right to postpone it until next season, providing they retain their current category. If we get into League 2, apparently it's fine, but we have to up it at some point. But for now, it's fine. We just probably can't afford it, so we're holding off a little bit. Saying we can't afford it, we're now actually announcing some terrace conversion plans. It's like DIY SOS. 250 seats to be 250 seats to be installed within the stadium, which I think doubles the amounts of seats we've already got, which should be fine. £35,000, cheap if anything. Quite expensive chairs though, if you work them out one by one. So I accepted the contract. Google Translate was delighted, and I've signed now until 2022, so it's a 2-year deal, and I'm delighted to be here. Why do they mention Benji famously suffered the ignominy of being knocked out of the FA Trophy by Lewis in January? Mention the fact we got promoted. Prick. Okay, and now I've got some more news that I've not yet read, so let's go through this. Chairman Google Translate would like to notify you that the board's decision will hopefully be pleasing for me. They've upgraded the scouting range. We can now we can now scout everywhere, essentially, which means more players will be available to us in the long term, which is perfect. Yuri Vorobiev has rejected. You're confused, aren't you? I offered him a trial to come and trial with me. Yes, you recognise the name if you've seen the Parma series. If you haven't, never mind, Yeah, he's not interested, which is a shame. And that's all the news. So let's take a quick look at how this season went, who are the top performers, who did well, and who's sort of in our best 11 and things like that. Let's crack on with that. Okay then, so what I've done is bring up the team stats for what we've done this season. Some of the more interesting things, I feel like. So in terms of appearances, who were the mainstays? Well, Tom Hitchcock, Miguel Baca, Ola, that's what I'm calling him now. The Fire, Marcus Madison, all made plenty of appearances. Obviously Jeff Thomas was a key figure as well. 45 appearances for him, and everyone else had more than that, which is incredible really. In terms of key headers, we're probably looking at the centre backs, Parker, Fire and Ola, all with over 140, which is fantastic really. Our mainstays, and we'll play the same roles hopefully next season. Not a great need to actually improve that setup. Those 3 and Jed Steer in goal look good for next season, so keep those as they are. Key passes, unsurprisingly, Jeff Thomas stands out there. A little bit surprisingly, Tom Hitchcock, a lot of key passes, 161. Him and Luke obviously assisted each other quite often, you would imagine. I'm sure we're about to find that out in just a moment. But yeah, both worked hard for each other. Lots of key passes by both of them, so good work. And then key tackles, much like the headers, Parker, Ola and the Fire have done a fine job in keeping teams out. Lots of key tackles between them. I think that's, about 70-ish, so yeah, great stuff. Pass completion. Now, maybe we've got 2 strikers there who haven't featured a massive amount, but they're named to point out. Andy Tannoy with an 83% pass completion. Tom Burridge is there, Nabi Kane, Willock, all the central midfielders over an 80% really, so doing really well for me this season. Got to be pleased with it. And obviously goal scorers, we've only really spoken about 2 this season, but we've had some important goals from Jonathan Capend. Madison's weighed in, Holland, Ola's got a few, even Andy Tannoy's got a couple. The most surprising thing out of all this really is that, I mentioned it a few times, that Jeff Thomas Thomas, despite having such a fantastic season, only got 2 goals through the entirety of the season in all comps, only 1 in the league, which is quite remarkable, really. But assists is where he really comes through. 24 of those, Marcus Maddison with 16, Sonny Aluko with 12, which is a pretty good number for a striker, right? And 7 assists for Tom Hitchcock, Callum Nicholas, and Jimmy Hodge, not too far behind either. So, yeah, it's nice to see so many attacking players working together and making goals happen. We scored so many this season. I'm pretty pleased with that. And that, of course, leads us to the average ratings. Jeff Thomas, Matthew Willock, Sonny Aluko, Marcus Maddison and Jimmy Hodge rounding out the top 5. Everyone did well. If you're above a 7 rating, to me, you're having a good season. Even the centre-backs are up there doing a pretty good job. So, very pleased with how that season's gone. So let's take a look at seeing over sort of the past few years who's in our best 11. This is actually before this season. So, I was going to show you the best 11. Now, this is the best 11 up to now, as in they've not actually taken account this season yet. So, I'll show you this now, and then we'll sort of rejig it again by the time we start the next season. Somebody remind me in the comments when we get into next season at some point. You can see there quite a few players that we've seen in the past in terms of goals and whatnot. We've got James Paul with 46. Liam Davis is up there. Capen's got quite a few. Luke Giverin, I think, remember on the left-hand side. Nathan Holland has been quite a good player for us. Andy Tannoy is in the legacy. Actually, let me show you something before we move on. If you take a look at the icons, Salford icons, Andy Tannoy is considered a Salford icon, which I really like. Worth noted, I'm not in favoured personnel or icons, so just 3 promotions. I mean, don't worry about me. Also, some other little bits and pieces you might be interested in. We have 128 season ticket holders. The average season ticket price is £125, average ticket price £7. Hence, we don't make a massive amount of money on things like this. And in terms of fierce rivals, FC United Manchester, Main Road and Georgeston don't actually have the 2 big Manchester clubs as rivals, but maybe one day. Now, something before we carry on, as I said, I was just going to show you the best 11. I've decided to fill it with something else. I think the best thing to do now is show you where a few of the kids that you're interested in have ended up. Peter Phillips, Macaulay Kidd, where are they now? Now, we'll start with Peter Phillips, who obviously we sold for £1 million. He's actually currently been on loan at Brentford from Southampton, where he moved initially. There are quite a few loan spells: Oldham, Doncaster, Southampton and Norwich, to name a few. This season, 6 goals, 7 assists. He's done all right, and his stats aren't too bad, you know. He's got some good ones in there. Composure stands out, vision, first touch passing technique. At 20 years of age, I thought he would have developed a little bit quicker. Quite a lot of 7s, where I thought they might be 10s by now. But still looks like a fantastic player, attacking midfielder. One day, he may well return. We're yet to find that out, though. But yeah, he's doing okay. Not excelling to the levels you might expect. Southampton are still a Premier League team, so I don't know what he's going to hope for in the next few seasons. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Just for those that are interested, there's the Premier League table. That's how it ended. Manchester United, Chelsea, City, Arsenal, Tottenham. Things never change. Although Aston Villa are 11th, things do change. Anthony Martial scored a lot of goals. He scored a few against me. Right, let's take a quick look then at Macaulay Kidd, another player that we obviously had at Salford in his early years. Currently at Bristol Rovers, who have got a player. I'm actually going to show you this player because it's remarkable that this player exists and that his movement in there. I did tweet about it, but I'm going to show you anyway. So obviously he started at Salford, got his very cheap move to Blackburn, then went to Swansea. Sorry, my mistake. I think I said Blackburn before. Had a loan spell at Crewe where it was okay, and then got 8 assists at Bristol Rovers in League One. Bristol Rovers are very interesting. I'm not sure if they have had some sort of tycoon takeover, or I don't know what's happened. But they've just come 3rd in League One. I'll be interested to know if they got promoted. Oh, it's not quite decided yet. Well, we don't yet know if they've been promoted, but there's a man I want to show you. That man is Conrad Gempf. Now, you might have Conrad Gempf in your own game. He's a regen that spawns in a lot of the time. I'm not sure if he's someone that works for the game, that gets a consistent regen put into the game, but he's worth 11.75 million. Contacted Bristol Rovers in League One. Just a curious case. I found him while looking at Macaulay Kidd last time. 26 assists, 4 goals. Picked up. This is the most amazing thing, really. Picked up on a free transfer from Inverness. Chose Bristol Rovers. And, I mean, you might have seen it a moment ago. The stats on the guy are outrageous. I've never seen a player like it. A player that I don't think will ever be able to pick up. He's so good that it just seems so unlikely. He must be getting a move away. It does say he's wanted by Queen's Park Rangers, so a move could be well in the offing. But yeah, just thought I'd show you him. Very well rounded. Look at that graph. Oh. As I'm showing you League One, there's that. I mean, if you want to freeze frame it, please do. And let's just pick up on the Championship as well. Obviously, the playoffs, as you can see, they're still going on. Wigan, Peterborough and Charlton went down. Maybe a few players we could take from there. Who knows? Let's take a look at League Two. Very quick look at League 2 then. Stevenage and Hartlepool are the teams to come down. Colchester, Nottingham Forest and Oldham are going up, along with one other who we're yet to find out. Yeah, it's going to be a difficult season next season. Some very good teams in there. Looking forward to playing the likes of AFC Wimbledon, and a few others in there. Obviously, a few of those teams won't go up. So out of Preston, Doncaster, Southend and Wycombe, there'll be some interesting games there. So just quickly then, this is a little rundown of the squad and how it looks right now. In terms of ability, Jeff Thomas, Jed Steer, Jimmy Hodge will be leaving after his loan ends, Ola and Willock, really good players in there. Still players that we can use. I think from about Tom Burridge upwards, those players will certainly stick around, and you can include Tom Hitchcock in that as well. Obviously a player who had a fantastic season for us last season will probably stick around. In fact, let's go from Tom Hitchcock upwards. Anyone below there could be at risk of leaving the club, apart from Andy Tannoy, but everyone else above that will certainly be a key part of the squad next season, and players we can certainly utilise, as well as bringing a few faces. And that brings me on to the next episode, which will be a transfer special. We'll make some moves and you'll find out first here on Dr. Benji FM's YouTube channel. That's me. Why did I say it like that? What a knob. So if you enjoyed this video, a little rundown, some other things. If you've got any questions, I'll happily just reply to the comments of this video and let you know things you might be interested in within the game, as long as it's not boring. Don't ask me about particular clubs, because I'll just ignore it. So we love with care from me, Dr. Benji. Until next time, I'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.